and then a fourth one, which is a mixture of two. Okay, the first response is the baby would come back to the mother and hold on to her. The mother would comfort her, and then she would climb down her lap and go play again. The second one, the baby would come back to the mother and just cling to her and cry and cry and cry and cry and inconsolably cry, like why did you do that to me? I can't believe you left me. Okay, that's the second style. The third person, the baby didn't actually cry. The baby went and played. The mother got up and left the room. Baby didn't cry. The stranger left the room. Baby didn't cry. Mother comes back. Stranger comes back. Baby continues to play. Just looks and notices and continues to play. Okay, so what do they call this? These are different types of attachment. There's secure attachment. That's the first kind. Comes back, comforts, goes back to play. Anxious attachment style is where the baby holds on and says, I can't believe you did that to me. Okay? The avoidant attachment style is a child who sits there, doesn't show any signs of stress, but later they actually attached like sensors to the baby's body, and they realized that the baby's heart rate went up, the stress hormones were released in their body, and they were very anxious, but they didn't show anything. And then a disorganized is a mixture between anxious and avoidant. Okay, so what is significant about that? I want to show you this. Secure attachment is actually attachment based on love. Okay? And an anxious attachment style is often created in relationships where there is abuse, where bad things happen to you that shouldn't happen to you. An avoidant attachment style is where you grow up in a family where you realize that the adults aren't there to take care of you, you got to take care of yourself very early. As a matter of fact, the role of the child is to take care of the parents. That's what an avoidant attachment style is. And then a disorganized one is a mixture of those two. Now, if you're going to be in a relationship, which person is going to be the best person to be in a relationship with? The secure attachment style person, right? Okay, and about 70% of people are in secure attachment, of the people that they've experimented with. But here's the thing, that many of us have grown up in families where instead of love being the dominant emotion, it's fear that's the dominant emotion. And this is something that's interesting, and that often couples get together, an avoidant and an anxious person get together. Do you know how that works? The avoidant person just looks so calm and cool and collected on the outside, and the anxious person is like, oh, I just wish I could be that grounded and that centered, so they're attracted to them. So what is the avoidant person? It's like, oh, it's so nice to have all this attention, but they're kind of aloof. And the anxious person is, I need to make sure I'm connecting. Am I connecting? Is everything all right? Is everything all right? And the avoidant person's like, wow, it's wonderful to have all this attention. But once they get married, the avoidant person really withdraws, and the anxious person gets more and more anxious. Okay, so in order for you to have a healthy relationship, you have to move the ethos of your connection or the way you attach from fear to love. It's actually something you learn, and you don't even know this. You don't even know that this is your operating system. Okay, and I'm going to show you what it looks like to have a fear attachment versus a love attachment. Okay, and here's the good news of the gospel is that God has come to bring us from fear to love, right? I noticed this. This is actually a real thing, okay? I was a chaplain at Andrews University. One day I'm sitting in front, this beautiful girl sitting in front of me. And she's like, I need to talk to you. I'm like, okay, tell me a little about yourself. You come to Andrews. She's beautiful, very athletic, top grades. And she's talking to me a little bit. And so I'm like, what would you like to talk about? She says, I'm in a relationship and he's hurting me. It's like, okay, so how did that happen? Like, what's going on? So she comes to campus. She scans all the boys. And she finds herself in a relationship with a guy who's abusive. How? How on earth does it happen? Like, she could pick anybody. Okay? Well, here's the thing. As I began to talk to her, and because I knew this, began to talk to her, it became it was quickly apparent that she had spent years being sexually abused by her father. Okay, so what happens when that happens is you go and you naturally, without even thinking about it, you go scanning all the boys and you're attracted to the scariest person in the crowd. even though you don't think of that consciously, that's exactly what happens. And within months, she was in an abusive relationship where someone was actually hurting her. So like, how do I get out of this? Okay, so the way that you've been conditioned to connect to other people is the kind of person that you will connect with. Are you following me? Like, this is like a law, and if you don't understand this, you're going to repeat that cycle. And then you're going to create hell for your children. Why? Because you're going to have a family system that is built on fear, not on love. Are you with me? So understanding the architecture of your brain and how it's been shaped, and understand that church is not just a place you come to look pretty, or being told that you got to eat vegan cheese. Okay? Church is a place where God is healing you from death to life, from fear to love. That's what church is for. We're learning how to live in the kingdom of love and move out from a kingdom of fear. Okay, are you following me? Okay, that's really important. Okay, so there's some people that came along and they said, we got to make this theory that John Bowlby had, and he's got many books, but there's a book called Circle of Security, How to Raise a Secure Child. I want to recommend it to you. They introduced something very, very interesting. They talk about the circle of security, and they say that in order for a child to grow up with a secure attachment, you need to have 3 things, okay? Number 1, you need to have a secure base to go out into the world from. And so what you will notice that once you've seen this, you're going to watch parents with small children, and here's what you're going to see. They have a small child sitting on their lap. Familiar picture? Okay, you're going to watch as that child gets restless, and they're going to want to climb off the parent's lap and do what? They're sitting on the lap, the child climbs off the lap, and they do what? And the parents are watching the child, right? Have you seen this happen? Just think about it. You've seen this happen. The child will stop and look back to check and see, do I have eye contact? Do I have your support? Okay. At some point over here, the child is going to fall and bump their head. Or they get shocked, or they get surprised. And then what do? And they come back. So watch this. In order for a child to develop a secure attachment, they need hands on the circle that are bigger, stronger, wiser, and kind, that create a secure base to go out from and a safe haven to come back into. Are you with me? So if you have a loving parent, okay, what they're going to do is when you have the need to go out, you know what they're going to do? They're going to say, yes, that's what you're made for. I can't wait for you to go out and support the world. I'm here backing you up. If you need anything, I'm here. I'm delighting in your need for adventure. Okay, are you following me? Something happens out here, they get your support, they're watching you, delighting in you, helping you, enjoying life with you. Then when something happens and you need to come back in, your parent goes like this. Oh, that was scary, wasn't it? Let's talk about your experience out there. Let me tell you, you're going to make it through this. Okay? I'm here to help you. Anytime you need to make sense of the world, to regulate your emotions, you can come back into me, and I'm here for you. Secure attachment. Okay, now, how does the attachment break down and go from love to fear? Check this out. Very interesting. There's something called shock music. Have any of you heard of the movie Jaws? Okay, so there's this music. Like, just imagine this beautiful scene, and you got like Vivaldi playing, right? And you're watching this beautiful scene, you got Vivaldi playing, it's a beach scene, and you think, I could go there and have a picnic with someone I love. It's like the wonderful thing. Then you change the music from Vivaldi to da-dum, 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 and you think, I'm not going to that beach. Why? Because there could be Jaws. Okay, so here's what's very interesting. Watch this. You getting ready to hop off your mother's lap. She's a bit of a shy person. It's at a party. She's a bit of a shy person, and she doesn't want to be at the party alone without her baby. Okay? So guess what? You need to get off and go and explore the world. And what is she telling you by her body language? As you get off, as you're starting to move away, what does she do? She squeezes you close. And you're like, I want to go. And you start, as a child, you go, and she squeezes you closer. And you go, and the child realizes, after a lot of time, that my need to explore the world is second to my mother's need for me to be with her. So instead of the parent meeting the child's need, the child now has to meet the parent's need because she feels anxious. Are you following me? This is deep stuff. That happens hundreds of times. Do you know what that's telling you? It's subtly telling you that the world's not a safe place to go and explore. Now that's mind-blowing, isn't it? Okay, watch this. Another thing, and I want to tell you, I wish I'd read this book when I had small children, because you understand this, you can actually break the cycle of insecurity that you grew up with and begin to build a secure cycle. Check this out. Something bad happens and you come back and you're like, wah, wah, and you have parents that feel uncomfortable with emotion, and what do? Shut up! I told you not to go out there. You coming back here crying, just shut up. What's your parent telling you? They're not comfortable with your feeling of fear or pain. They're not comfortable with it. What are parents that are bigger, stronger, wiser, and kind? What do they do when you come back? They say, oh, I can see that you're afraid. What happened out there? Let's see what we can do to make sure that you feel safe and loved again. Do you see that? So listen carefully, and you'll notice, you're going to notice your parents, and I want to say no parent's perfect. Like, I'm not the perfect parent. Like, I did some bad things to my kids. I just want to tell you. I yelled at times, and I'm just telling you, and your parents are the same, okay? And you're going to not be perfect parents too. And one of the things these guys say is that you don't have to be perfect, you just have to be good enough most of the time. That's all the kids want, is for good enough parents most of the time. Okay, so just chill, okay? You don't have to be perfect parents. But I want to tell you, if you don't have parents that are bigger, stronger, wiser, and kind, you have parents that are mean, weak, or gone. And parents who are mean, weak, or gone create fear rather than love as a means for attachment. Now, why is this important to relationships? Why? Tell me. Talk to me. Why is this stuff important to understand before you get into a relationship? Understand about yourself. This is patterned learned behavior you're not even aware of. It's part of your operating system, okay? So why is it important to know before you get into a relationship? Because you're going to bring something to that relationship, and you're either going to attach by love or you're going to attach by fear. And if you attach to somebody by fear, you're going to experience hell together. I just promise you, your relationship's going to go to hell. I've seen it so many times, okay? Because the only thing that builds intimacy is love, not fear. If you're getting close to someone to avoid something else, that's actually based on fear, not on love. Are you following? Okay. All right. So I want you to notice. Look at this. This is love bonds versus fear bonds. So you got a secure attachment, and all the other insecure attachments are based on fear. All right. So check this out. Love bonds are desire driven. That means I want to be with you because I desire you. You're desirable to me. Okay? It's a positive attraction. Fear bonds are avoidance driven. That means I'm coming to you in relationship in order to avoid something. So I'm trying to get away from my home, so I need a safe place to go. Are you with me? Or I'm coming close to you so that I can avoid emotional distress, or I'm staying far away from you in order to avoid emotional distress. So that brings us to the second one. A love bond is strong, close, or far. That means that when you have a loving connection, like with a parent or someone else, that whether you're in their presence, you're close, or whether you're far away, you're close. Have you heard out of sight, out of mind? And have you heard distance makes the heart grow fonder? That's the difference between a love bond and a fear bond. Okay? Can be strong, close. For a fear bond, it's either strong, close, or far. That means I need to stay close to you because if I move away, it's scary. Or I have to stay far from you because if I come close, it's scary. Are you with me? All right? You can share, in a love bond, you can share positive and negative feelings openly. Where you have fear bonds, you cannot share positive or negative. You got some of your families here. You go into your house, it's a toxic negativity. Everything is wah, wah, wah. Anything positive is shut down and put down or said that's rubbish. Okay, there's some of you who come from families where you have toxic positivity. It's like it's only positive. There's no conflict. We don't say anything bad. It's like anything bad is like scary. It's not spiritual to be upset or mad. Okay, when you got love attachment, you can be happy and you can be angry and you can be okay together. because you're loved. Okay? In love bonds, love bonds encourage authenticity. Fear bonds inhibit authenticity, so you've got to pretend to be something in order to be accepted. Truth is the important thing in love bonds. Deceit and pretending is the important thing. Because you could never live up to the ideal of the other person, so you've got to at least pretend to be that ideal person. Okay? It grows and matures you. This restricts and stunts you. And here's the important thing, massively important. How do I act like myself in a love relationship? How do I get what I want in a fear-based relationship? So one is manipulative, and the other one is authentic. Are you following me? I hope that you're seeing your family and you're seeing yourself in a fresh way for a first time. And if you don't recognize this stuff, you're just going to repeat it again in the next families you create. Okay? All right. Is this helpful to you? Is this a little bit disturbing and shocking? And I hope so. Okay, I hope so, because rather you get it now and begin to understand this, because you got to understand that there's a solution, that the gospel actually has a solution for you. Okay, now, James Wilder, how much time do I have, by the way? How much more time? Because this is a lot of material here, and I gotta make sure I don't go too slow. 11 minutes? Oh, hallelujah, that's another. All right, we're good, we're doing good. Okay, so James Wilder introduces something very interesting. It's called 5 stages of maturity, okay? He says we go through 5 different stages. The first stage is when we're a baby. So what do babies have to offer? So babies, the only contribution babies make is that they pee, they poop, and they sleep. And they might smile at you from time to time, and then you're not sure if it's just gas. You understand what I'm saying? Like, was that a smile or was that gas? Okay, so the baby goes, and it's like, okay, that was just gas. All right. So what do babies have to offer? They have to offer very little. As a matter of fact, babies just need love and support. So do you know what the most important thing that you got to learn when you're a baby? This is 0 to 3 years old. That you're someone who's delighted in, and that there's adults around you that understand your needs, anticipate them, and meet them consistently. That's the primary task of a baby. You got to learn. That's what you got to learn. Now, talk about joy. Remember I said the first picture that you have of yourself is someone looking back at you? There's something called joy. And we talked about the joy dance, where a mother looks at the baby and the baby looks back, and the baby sees the mother's love and adoration, and she just gets overwhelmed, and she's like, wow, that's the most beautiful face I'm looking at, and look how she's smiling at me, and I just feel this joy welling up inside of me, so I smile back, and then my mom smiles even bigger, and it's just overwhelming, like, boy, and I look away, I'm just blown, all my circles are blown, and then I look back, does she still like me? As a matter of fact, scientists have discovered that babies look for nothing in the world except for faces. They look for faces. And you know what kind of face they're looking for? They're looking for smiling faces. Babies are asking, are you glad to be with me? Are you glad to be with me? Are you glad to be? Where's the face that's glad to be with me? And you will see this. You will see this. Babies, you bring babies to a family reunion. You have a grandmother there whose eyes sparkle. Every time they see the baby will want to be there. Just like, they're attracted. What they're looking for? Sparkling eyes. Those are the eyes that say, that you are a delight. And I can't wait to be with you. Okay, that's what develops joy strength. Now I've got to make sure that I don't go too deep into this, but here's something that's very interesting. And that is that, have any of you seen the movie Inside Out? Okay, it's actually based on this psychological theory. Okay, there's major negative emotions: rage, disgust, shame, terror, and hopeless despair. Those are the massive, major negative emotions that we're capable of feeling. Is everyone with me? Okay, when you feel hopeless despair, that's what people feel when they feel suicidal. It's like there's no way out except for death. That's what that intensity of that emotion. All right, so here's something very interesting. In order for us to grow up healthy, we have to have somebody that guides us back to joy from every one of those emotions, so that we have hardwired as our brain the knowledge that it's possible to get back into relationship and back to joy from those bad places. Are you with me? Okay, how do we learn that? I'll tell you a little story. Okay, this is one of my favorite stories. Okay, so moms, just imagine it's Sunday morning. And they've just had a lovely breakfast. And mom is actually in a very positive mood. She's happy. And she's washing the dishes, just thinking how wonderful it was to make this food. Everyone enjoyed it. Everyone's getting ready to go off onto the day. It's just a good day. She's washing the dishes. It's looking outside, the beautiful sunshine. There's suds on her hands. It just feels so good. And then she's standing there and she goes, and she smells something that just doesn't smell right. She knows that smell, and she's like, there's a poopy diaper somewhere coming around. Okay, so little Johnny's over here, and he's been playing around, and he's just getting to the stage when he realizes that there's a connection between what the sensation he feels in his diaper and his bowels moving. Like, that's actually a developmental phase. It's kind of like, oh, something happened. And so because he realizes that, he does something that he's never done before. He gets up, and he reaches his hand back down there, and he discovers something that's soft and warm. And he pulls it out, and he's like, oh my goodness, I have no idea what this is. And what do you do when you're faced with a problem? You go to the person who's helped you all your life. And so he toddles over to mom, and he's like toddling over, and she's like, and she turns around from this moment of bliss, and what does she see? She sees something that's disgusting. And what look comes on her face? This is not delight now. What look comes on her face? Disgust. She's like, ew. Okay, how does he feel? When someone looks at you with disgust, what emotion do you feel?
You feel embarrassed.
Embarrassed and shame. He's going to feel shame. He is going to feel shame. And so he's never seen his mother look at him like that before. So what does he start doing? He starts crying. Okay, so she's not thinking about his crying. She's just thinking, what has he touched? Okay, so she makes a move towards him, grabs his hand, and they move over to the sanitation center, which is the bathroom, and she goes, wash the babies. Okay, every mom's going to do that. Now here's the difference between a good mom and a bad mom. Okay, what does good mom do once the sanitation routine is done? Baby's crying now unconsolably, like this is shocking. I've never experienced anything like this. I don't know what's going to happen. This may be very bad for me. Okay, something bad's happened. And she gets done washing their hands, and now he's clean, and new diaper, etc. And he's still crying. What is her response? Good mom, what does she do?
She will help him.
She holds him close, and she starts to do what? Help him go from fear and shame back to joy. And you know what she's just done? She showed him that you can be in a relationship where you experience shame and fear, and there's an easy way back to being close. That's what good mom does. You know what bad mom does? She's like, that was bad, and you're a bad person, and you're a bad boy, and stop crying. Like, you embarrassed me. It's like, stop crying. And what does baby do when she says stop crying? He cries more. So she says, you don't stop crying, you're being disrespectful, I'm sending you to your room. And you go there and you stay there until you stop crying. So he goes to his room and he cries and he cries and he cries and he cries and eventually he stops crying. And then she unlocks the door and lets him out. And what has she just taught him?
His emotions are not okay.
When you feel shame, there's no way back. No way back to joy. And so I'm going to tell you something. He grows up. Let's listen carefully. He grows up and he feels shame. Do you know what he's going to do? He's going to log on to a porn site. Because here's what he believes. Or he's going to smoke something, or he's going to drink something. Why? Because he's being conditioned to believe that when you feel that, there's no way back to feeling good except for using something chemical. That's where addictions come from. So you look at someone who's struggling with addiction, here's the thing. It's not about the addiction, friends. It's about you've never learned how to get back to joy from a feeling that you feel just before you act out. Think about that. That's huge, right? This is huge. Huge, 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 huge. Okay, so baby's learning how, like, if you're a mom, right? I got your little ones. I just want to tell you, you know what you are doing? You're wiring your kids' brains to understand there's a way back to joy from every single emotion. And every time you do that, you're creating a stable, mature adult for one day. Like, just understand that little task that you're doing again and again and again, helping regulate your kids and helping them to know that they loved and delighted in, no matter what emotion that they felt, you're actually building an adult that has the capacity for love. Just think about that, Mom. That's a big deal. Like that's no second-class job. That's a big deal. Okay, I'm just telling you. All right. So that's what infants' jobs. That's infant maturity. That's what you learn. And I spend a lot of time there because I know there's a lot of you who are little boys and little girls that have broken wires from certain kinds of emotions. And then it's like, why is she so moody? She hasn't found a way to get back to joy. She's stuck in that. Why is she so moody? Okay, depression, stuck. Don't know how to get back. Are you with me? So there's a lot of stuff that this explains. Okay, what do you got to learn when you're a child? When you go from being a baby that's 4 years old and you start learning to do stuff? What do 4-year-olds say? And you say, "Can I tie your shoes?" And they say, "No, I can do it myself." And can you come like this? And they're like, "No, I want to feed myself." Okay, there's a very important developmental phase. They're learning to take care of themselves, even though the buttons are wrong, or they mess food all over the place, or their shoes are tied with knots that you've got to take weeks to unknot, okay? But they're learning how to take care of themselves. So I'm taken care of, baby. I can take care of myself, infant. Now, what's really interesting is that if you have abuse as a baby, you get stuck, and you have adults that are wandering around, and they're signaling, is there somebody out there that can take care of me? Because they've never emotionally matured beyond an infant. They expect other people, even though they're in adult bodies, they're expecting other people to take care of them like babies. Or if you have your trauma when you're in the child stage, then you grow up as an adult, and you know what narcissism is? Narcissism is a label we give to other people who are self-centered. And it's all about me and just taking care of me. But you're stuck at learning just to take care of me. Something amazing happens when you're 12 years old. Your brain develops the capacity to take care of yourself and someone else in a mutually fulfilling relationship. And that's actually a learned behavior. It's like, I've got needs. I take care of my needs. You've got needs. I can recognize your needs, and I can meet those needs. I want to tell you that's what a mature, intimate relationship looks like. Because if you're with someone who can understand the needs, you know, they'll be like this. They'll be like this. I don't need you. I'm self-sufficient. I don't need anybody in my life. But I like you and I choose you. And as a matter of fact, I have something for you. Wow. Find that person, marry them. Find that person and marry them. Just I was to tell you, stop. You're done. Find and done. Okay? Because notice it really works well when the other person's the same and they're like, I'm self-contained and I don't really need you, but I choose you. And I've got something to offer to you, and I would love to receive what you have for me. That's what adult relationships are like. Okay? So you do that, you learn to do that, and then you pair off with somebody and you say, you know, we could probably do this more conveniently for the rest of our lives together. And you become completely exclusive. It's in that context that you go to the next phase, which is the parenting phase. And you know what the primary job of parents are? To learn to give sacrificially to someone else. Now, what happens when you have a parent who's stuck at the child stage of maturity? You know why she has a baby? Because she wants to be loved. And she wants to make a friend. And she wants that baby to love her. And what does she do when the baby doesn't love her? She shakes it. She hurts it. That's where shaking baby syndrome comes from. It's from a mother who's still a baby herself. And the baby was supposed to be there to meet the mother's need rather than the mother having the emotional capacity to meet the baby's need. You see that? And that's how the cycle of abuse continues. You following me? Okay, so what happens when you get to the elder stage? So this starts when you have your first child. This ends when your oldest child turns 12. Then you enter into the elder stage according to this model. The elder stage is where you learn to give sacrificially to the community. So that's what a grandmother is. She's like, everybody, we got to get along. Don't forget, we're a family. No matter what problems we're having, we all got to be together. Now, you all got to come over to my house, and I know you're having a fight with you. Come sit down, we're going to sort this out. That's what elders do. They act for the good of the community. Are you following me? Okay, so where are you in this stage? Most of you are where? You're learning this. You're learning this. How to take care of yourself and how to take care of somebody else at the same time. And some of you are pretty decent at it, and others of you are lousy at it. Okay, I don't care where you're at. The good news is this. Wherever you're at, you can be better at it. Following? Okay, is this helpful? So this is in the book called The Life Model by James Wilder. If you're taking notes and you want to expand your library, The Life Model, James Wilder and et al. Okay, we talked about love and respect. Emerson Eggeridge. So she needs love, he needs respect. Women speak the language of love, men speak the language of respect. Okay? Just a couple examples, and there's a great, just read this book. It's really a great book, and there's YouTube videos, etc. But how do men build relationships? Men build relationships shoulder to shoulder. Like we build relationships by doing things together. Okay? And how do women build relationships? Face to face. You see two girls go out to dinner, and they'll be like talking to each other, and then they'll get to the table, and then they'll pull up chairs in front of each other, and they'll lean into each other, and they'll start talking to each other like that. There's a story about this lady. She tells a story of a man who would like to go deer hunting, and she learned about this, and she was like, "Okay, I want to see if I can bless my husband." So she got up dressed in the deer clothes. I mean the hunting clothes. Yeah, the deer hunting clothes. And her husband had his rifle and bow and arrow, whatever it is. And she said they got into the car and they drove for an hour and a half and they said nothing the whole trip. And they climbed out and they got into this little hut up in a tree. And she said they spent 4 hours there and they did nothing. And then they caught nothing. And then they got in the car and they drove back and they said nothing. And when they were done, the husband said, "That was the best time we spent together." And she was like, "That's inconceivable." But that's really how men bond. Okay? Men bond not with words, but with actions, by spending time together, doing things that matter. That's how men bond. Okay? How do women bond? Talk, 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 talk. Like, you know that the average man has like 15,000 words he says in a day, and the average woman is like 30. And if you're a stay-at-home mom, one of the classic jokes is the stay-at-home mom is like, she's like speech deprived, right? And her husband has already used up his 15,000 words, so he comes back and she's got 30,000 words she's got to use up, and he's like, "I'm just getting a headache listening to you." She's like, "But I'm not going to tell him." She's retelling the whole day, and then she's telling stories about it, and she's telling other people's stories, and it's like, have you heard of spider webbing? Guys, do you know what spider webbing is? Oh, guys, you got to know what spider webbing is, because otherwise you're going to be totally confused listening to a woman. Okay, I'm going to tell you how spider webbing goes. Okay, so men tell a story. The men tell a story of going shopping. They go, "I got in the car, I drove to the shop, I picked up the thing, and I came home." End of story. That's how men tell a story. Women, so I was driving to go get I was driving to go get that thing that you wanted. I got to the traffic light, and the car, there was this car. There was a green car. Now, it was the same color green as Uncle Joe's car. You know, the one that he bought last Christmas? The one that got like the accident? That's correct. But inside the car, there was a poodle. That poodle reminded me of something that I had as a kid, but that's not actually why I was telling you that. And the guy's going, "Where is the story going?" As all the ladies are like, "Yeah, that's how we talk." What is the ladies, what are you doing when you're spider webbing? It's like you haven't told us, you're just trying to tell the story that you went and got the back. But what are you doing with all the spider webs? It's like, what are you guys doing? You're creating a rich picture of relational networks. And what's connected to what, and what, because it all matters. Okay, so guys, I just want to tell you, just for those of you who are going to glaze over and look at that and listen and be like, "I don't know, I'm lost, I don't know where she's going." I'll tell you what, I've learned, if you just listen carefully, she'll bring it all back together in the end, and you'll go, "Oh." Is it true? No, it's not true? Okay, some ladies are not the stereotypical. Okay, so he talks about the 3 cycles, the three ways. So she says the rewarded cycle, the energized cycle is at the center. So his love motivates her respect motivates his love. That's called the energizing cycle. The crazy cycle is without love, she reacts, without respect, and without respect, he reacts without love. And then the rewarded cycle, his love regardless of her respect, and her respect regardless of his love. That's the rewarded cycle. That's how we change the dynamics in the relationship. Husbands, love your wives. That's a command. Learn how to love her regardless of her behavior towards you, and you'll see that she will melt. Okay, respect him regardless of his behavior to you, and you'll see that he will melt. That's the principle of this. All right, is that clear? And there's a lot of detail. He does a wonderful job of telling stories. He's like one of my favorites, and this is so important, guys. Women confront to connect. Okay, I told you, I may have mentioned this the other day, but women confront to connect. So what does a girl do when she's upset with you? She goes, you know, you just like my father. I just am sick and tired of all the stuff that you're doing. I don't know. And she's going like this. And what is the guy looking at her like? He's backing away. He's going like, I've got to get out of this situation. Why? Now, ladies are like, what? That's so disrespectful, so unloving. Like I'm trying to connect with him, and he's moving away from me. This is creating stress for me. Why is he moving away, guys? Tell me. Does anyone know? Okay, I'll tell you why. If one of his friends did that to him, he would be like, Chris, don't talk to me like that, man. I'll punch you in the face. We'll sort this out. And a guy will never put his hand on his hip and go like this. Never. You look at little boys. They will fight physically, and then if you tell them to say sorry, they'll be like. Okay, I'm sorry. Shoulder to shoulder, right? You don't confront somebody like this. As men, you just learn, you just know that's not right. So when you see a woman coming to you like this, everything in you is wired to tell you she wants a fight. And either I'm going to hurt her, and I'm bigger than her, so I've got to just move away. Because I don't want to hurt somebody. Okay? So ladies, if you understand, and men, if you understand, well, first of all, men, if you understand, she's telling you, I'm hurt, I'm upset, I don't feel loved right now, I'm coming towards you, and I'm saying all these nasty things about you, but I'm actually trying to tell you that I want to connect with you. And the guy's like, wait a second, why didn't you just say that? Like, all this drama doesn't make any sense. It's like, it's not logical. Okay? But two girls do that to each other, and they go like this, oh, no, I'm so sorry. Yes, I can see. I really, it was so horrible of me to do all of those things, and half of what you're saying is true. That's true. And it's like, let's be friends again. Right? Am I right, girls? Well, for most of you. Buddha Macy's is anadang. Okay. The other thing is that he says that I think is just wonderful. He says that women think that their husbands lie awake at night dreaming up ways to ruin the relationship, and he said that men just do it naturally. Why? Because we come in like he said, he uses this illustration of a hose, and women need just constantly love flowing into her heart, into her love, just like being reminded that she's loved. Okay. And men just walk into the house like a big elephant and step on the hose, like, and chop off that. And she's like, I'm suffocating. Okay, and woman, she says, like you, like little deer, he's got this respect hose he needs flowing all the time. You just prance in with your little hoofs and like step on his hose. Okay, that's because we don't understand that he's not wired for love just like you are. Are you with me? Now, what they point out is something very interesting. We'll just jump through these because I've already talked about them. They actually say that there's what spells love for a woman, and they use the word couple. Tell me, girls, if this resonates with you, because this is really good. Closeness, number one. She feels secure when you draw near to her physically and emotionally. She feels close to you, and she feels secure when you want to be with her physically and emotionally. And girls really don't like, because guys are more sexually motivated, girls are like so grossed out when it's like just like physical, right? Because it has to be physical and emotional in a most natural way, and it's about love, not about sex. As a matter of fact, someone said that girls will give sex for love and guys will give love for sex. So you were motivated by different things, okay? So this is not sexually, this is like, I want to be close to you, proximity and emotionally. That makes her feel secure. Understanding, we go this way. Openness, she wants to share in your inner world, not face your silence. So she feels loved when you open your heart to her and you tell her what you're thinking, you tell her what your mind is. Guys, I want to do, if you have a girlfriend, do this. You will be blown away, okay? Ask your girlfriend to tell you about their day. Okay, she'll tell you. She'll tell you that. Then you do this. You just listen. Then you go like this. Pick a part of the day and say, wow, what did you think about this, that, and the other? And she'll tell you all the things that she's been thinking. Try to process. Okay? And then you say the third question. So how did you feel about all of that? Wow. She'll stop and she's like, are you on drugs? I learned this and I tried it with my sister. I was single. I called her up and it's like, I went through this thing and she was just went on and on. And she was like, thanks, but that was the most wonderful conversation we've ever had. Just show interest. Now, if you do that for her and you describe your day, you describe your thoughts, you describe your emotions, and you your inside becomes naked to her, like you invite her into your inner world, she will think, I've got the best, most beautiful boy in the world. Because that makes her feel loved, okay? Understanding. She seeks empathy before solutions. Okay, this is clear, stereotypical, right? Like, I just want you to know that what you're going through is horrible. Like, that's so horrible. Oh, that's just terrible. Yes, I'm so sorry. That's, it's awful. Yes, I know it's awful. Like, I can't, if I was in your shoes, I can just imagine I'd feel just like you're feeling right now. Yes, and the guy's going like, just fix the problem, right? Okay, now, once again, stereotypical, because in my family, I'm more like a woman in this regard, and my wife's more like a man. It's like she's a pediatrician, she's a farmer, she's an engineer, and when I share problems with her, I want her to be like, oh, wow, that's a big problem. She's like, just fix it like this, and this, and I'm like, oh. Okay, so these are stereotypes. I just want you to know, it doesn't mean that you're less of a man if you have that trait, okay. Okay, peacemaking, she wants to reconcile, not avoidance. Ooh, when there's a problem, she's going to most likely, unless she's been conditioned not to in her family, she's going to most likely want to draw closer to you to fix the problem. And guys are like, wait a second, I need time. I need time not to dysregulate anymore, okay? Okay, loyalty, she feels safe when she knows you're steadfast, exclusive. And finally, esteem, she feels cherished when you express admiration and value. Ooh, guys, you want to spell love? You tell your wife or you tell your girlfriend, boy, you stand out amongst the crowd. When I see it, it's like you just stand out. I'll tell you the most vulnerable thing for a girl, guys, is wondering if she's actually attractive. Girls spend a lot of emotional energy wondering that. Intuitively, it's just like this thing. That's why girls put stuff on their faces and because they want to be attractive. The whole makeup industry is exploiting the vulnerability of women. It really is. Like, am I beautiful? Am I attractive? Would anyone want to have me? Okay? When you tell your wife or your girlfriend that she stands out, her qualities are extraordinary, exceptional, boom! She's like, I'm basking in love. Are you with me? Now, girls, does this resonate with you? Most of you, all right. Buddha Macy's is honest. No. So what is it for men? So they use the word chairs. Okay. Number one, C is for appreciate his drive for work to achieve and to build. Okay? So men have this innate desire to conquer the world. And when you come alongside and you're like, whoa, you're awesome. Look how hard you're working. Like, you're just doing awesome for our family. He's like, you'll just see his chest come out like this. My wife, let's just see here. Yes. Okay, so my wife did this. It's so powerful, eh? It's just crazy. I was in this hall of like 5,000 couples, okay? I'm listening to this guy. And he says this. He says, I just want to ask all the spouses and female, the partners, reach across and touch your husband's biceps. So it's like, and then he goes like this. Did he flex? And everyone's like, laughs, right? Why? Why do men naturally like? Because for a man, there's this thing. It's like, I want to be strong. I want to conquer. It is crazy. It is the craziest thing. Okay, all right. My wife. One of the things I do for my wife that signals love for her is I work with her in the garden because she loves to work together, and so she'll often have me move things on the wheelbarrow, and I can move a lot more weight on the wheelbarrow than she can. So I'm picking up the wheelbarrow one day, and I'm not that buff. I have worked out and kind of filled that a little bit. I've been skinny a lot of my life, but I pick up this wheelbarrow, and my wife looks at me and she's like, whoa. Like, I could never pick up that wheelbarrow. And you know what happened inside of me? Respect. I'm mad. So ladies, just want to tell you, that's powerful. Okay, hierarchy, I want to tell you, guys are the first thing we do when we go into a room is like, who's the dude and where am I fit in the hierarchy? Like, I want to know who's the boss and where I fit in the boss. So understand, he's valued to protect and providing instincts. Okay, that's really important. Authority, trust is leadership and decision-making with integrity. I just want to know that guys want to make good decisions, and they pride themselves on thinking like they go to work and people come to them and they respect and they go home and she's like, I don't know if that's right. Like, I don't feel comfortable with your decisions. And what you're saying is, I disrespect your leadership. I don't know what you're going to take. And you can actually express, you can say, I trust your leadership. I just want you to know these are my concerns. Can you take those into consideration while you make the decisions? Respect. It's a whole different language than saying, I don't know if you have what it takes to lead our family. So and you're just speaking your own anxiety. You understand what I'm saying, ladies? Okay, that's massive. Okay, authority. Insight, he welcomes his wisdom, perspective, and problem solving. That shows respect. Relationship, enjoy his friendship and partnership. That means do fun things together. Okay, and in sexuality, affirm his desire for physical and emotional connection. All of those speak respect. So couple speaks love and chair speaks respect. Isn't that powerful? Okay, really powerful. Okay, one more thing I want to share with you because it's 11 o'clock, right? So I need to wrap this up. There's so many other things I wanted to share with you, but I just want to share with you something that's very important. If you're single, this is incredibly important. How do you develop a secure attachment? So there's this research that was done. I learned this, when I learned this, it just blew my mind, and it's just helped me with counseling and with working with young adults. There was research that was done that looked at secure bonds between animals, wide variety of cultures, and as well as species. Like, you've got swans, they mate for life. Polar bears, they're one and done. Okay, so polar bears have no loyalty. Like grizzly bears, they just mate and then they never see their spouse again. Okay, but swans and Canada geese, they mate for life. And they studied the pattern of bonding with the creatures that have strong bonds. And there's 12 steps that they go through. And I want to go through these with you just to show you there's a very important point here, okay? So where does it start? It starts with eye to body. So this is physical and emotional attachment. How does it start? What does eye to body mean? It means you come to camp meeting and you notice him across and you're like, wow, like that's an attractive man. Like there's something about, like everything about that picture, it's not sexual, it's not weird, it's not creepy, it's just like you notice that person. That's the first connection. What does that lead to? There's this moment, and if you've ever experienced it, you'll never forget it, okay? Where you're starting to feel like you like that person, you're starting to feel that, and there's this moment you can't predict it, it just happens. You look across the room, and they're looking at you, and you feel this feeling inside of yourself like butterflies are released from their pupas. And he feels the same, and what happens in that moment? There's something magical that happens. When she catches your eye, what do you know will happen? She will look away. And then you will look away too. And then what will you do? Then you will look back again. That's a magical moment, I want to tell you. That's called eye to eye, okay? What happens after that moment's happened? Voice to voice. What is voice to voice? Hi, you know, my name is, well, you just strike up conversation, or you in the line, you say, could you pass me that? You go sit at the table, and you want to strike up a conversation. Okay, how many hours should you talk before you go to the next stage? You know what hand to hand, this is where you meet. You know what hand to hand is? Handshake, that's not a handshake. We're not talking hand to hand like this, we're talking hand to hand like this. What's happened when you go hand to hand? What are you signaling to the world? You're signaling to the world, I'm connected to him. I'm connected to her, and we're exclusive. You don't hold anybody's hand, my friends. You hold someone's hand who's agreed not to hold anyone else's hand. Are you following me? So when you go from the first three to the second one, you've gone from just learning to know each other to actually starting to date. And someone suggests that you need hours and hours and hours and hours, like 1,000 hours of talking before you go here. Now, that's not always going to be the case, but there's a lot of talking that happens before you start doing it, because here's where you're building knowledge and etc. about each other. And the interesting thing is, the further that you go down here, the less talking there is. The more physical it becomes, the less emotional and intellectual connection there is. So keep this going as long as possible. Okay, hand to hand. The next one is arm to shoulder. That's more intimate, right? So hand to hand, arm to shoulder, like you're walking like you're doing a three-legged race. Right? And then the even closer is the arm goes from the shoulder down to the waist, and you know that there's a whole, that's the next phase of connection and intimacy. Like this is different from this, right? You understand that? Okay, and it's like I'm allowing that. Why? Because I feel emotionally connected to you to that degree, okay? This here is safe territory. As soon as you start getting to this territory, you better be planning to get married soon. Because when you go face to face is where you start kissing. And there's dry kisses and wet kisses, and I want to tell you, when you go from dry kisses to wet kisses, am I talking to my big boys and girls here, right? Okay. When you go from dry kisses to wet kisses, something turns off in your brain. It's the human turns off and the animal wakes up. Okay, I'm just telling you, you've got to understand that biology starts taking over. So if you're wanting to wait until you're married, you've got to make some decision like where you're going to draw lines in the process of physically bonding to another person. Are you following me? You got to say, well, let's hold it over here, because it's just going to make it hard for it, because it's a natural progression. Like one step leads to the next. Are you with me? Okay. So then it's hand to head, and do you know that hand to head is actually extremely, extremely intimate, because our head is the most vulnerable part. You just don't let anyone touch your head. Like playing with hair, combing hair, like taking something out of someone's hair, like very, very intimate. Like you're letting people into that space, okay? And then this is what a hand to body is, where there's petting. There's light petting and heavy petting. Okay, so now we're starting to get into foreplay. All right, are you with me? Now, this line here, over here, is probably what you want to hold up to engagement. Because this is just from here to there, boy oh boy, very hard. Because you're going to go, watch this, you're going to hand to body, mouth to body, hand to genitals, genitals to genitals. This is where you consummate a marriage. Okay, is everyone following me? So it's 12 stages of bonded intimacy. So why am I telling you this? Here's something very interesting. Okay, listen carefully. Every time you take a step, it's exhilarating. Like the first time you have eye to eye with somebody, I remember that moment. I remember sitting in class, looking across at the girl that I was just found so attractive. I kept looking at her, kept looking at her. She turned around and looked at me, and I was like I couldn't get her picture of her face out of my head. So powerful, okay? So every time you take a step, it's exciting and exhilarating. Now, what you got to know is that girls and guys go to the next step for different reasons, okay? For guys, it's driven by conquest. Like pushing for the next step is conquest. You know what for girls? It's commitment. Are you with me? You're not gonna let a boy touch you or hold your hand, etc., unless you feel that they're that level of commitment to you. Following me? Now, here's what's interesting. Listen carefully. You've never dated anyone, and you get to the point where you're holding hands, girls and guys, okay? You break up. Oh, it's terrible. You spend months, crying, etc. You thought this was the one, and now you break up. You start dating again. Guess what happens for both of you? The time that it takes to go from initial contact to holding hands gets shortened immensely. Why? Well, for guys, anything less than that is boring. Like, I've already experienced that. Now let's hold hands again. You know what for girls is? I want to make sure that you're as committed to me as my last relationship. So we have to get to the same level of physical intimacy quickly so that I can feel like we're the same level of commitment. Are you with me? Okay, why am I telling you this? Because you're going to be dating, and you're going to have to manage this, and this is often taboo. Like people will be like, just wait until marriage, okay? Like that's but no one's going to talk to you about, there's actually a process, like built into us biologically, and you've got to be smart about it and understand why you're wired the way you're wired, and what the purpose of this is. This is actually for the purpose of building a secure attachment to somebody else. Now, remember, this doesn't fix it if you come to the relationship with fear. Because often people who are connecting out of a fear can have a sexual or a physical connection without having emotional intimacy. Because the emotional connection is based on fear rather than based on love. Are you with me? Okay, so be careful, and when you're in a relationship, talk about the 12 stages of intimacy and say, where are we going to draw the line? Because we want to be wise, and we want to develop depth of relationship and not exploit the other person and use the other person for our own satisfaction. All right. Emerson Eggeridge, I'm going to see here. So the point that I want to make is that God gives us relationships in order for us to discover our need for Him, and He wants to enter into those relationships and help us to move from fear to love and build relationships of love and respect in order for us to fill the world with His glory. Okay, that's what this is about. Relationships are hard because we're broken, right? But here's the good thing, is that as you go into this with openness and invite Christ into the center, He's going to take, because perfect love casts out fear, God's love is actually going to change your heart towards one another. And you're going to be able to move towards each other as to Christ. And you'll learn about respect, ladies, and you'll learn about love, men. Okay? All right. Well, I wish we had time for questions and comments. I hope that was helpful to you, was it? Yes? All right. There's a bit of a data dump. There's still a couple of more things that I had. No, I actually got to the end. That's the last slide. So I wish we could take some questions and answers. I wish we had time for that. But I want to encourage you, be intelligent. My mom was with us at the back there. She has to go to another thing. I was going to identify. She said, how long does it take to become a neurosurgeon? How many years do you have to study to be a neurosurgeon? So it's like 12 to 14 years. How many years do you have to study to be a garbage collector? Just start today, right? Okay, so this is what she said. She said, maybe that's the reason why so many marriages are garbage. Like that's mom wisdom, right? No training, no preparation, no studying, no reading books together, no trying to understand yourself. You just dive in and do it. And then you just simply repeat the pattern of your parents. The same abuse, the same brokenness gets passed on for generations. That's not your lot. You can break the cycle. And God, about redemption, is that your families can be wholesome, more healthy and wholesome than the last generation. That's what Christianity does. That's what the power of the resurrection does. You got hope to have more healthy relationships. Are you with me? So what do you say? Let's ask Jesus to help us as you build healthy families. You're the next generation of the leading families of the church in South Africa. Build those families on love and respect, right? Please. Okay, let's pray. Father in heaven, thank you for the privilege that we have to learn about our brokenness and your love, and that redemption is not just a faraway idea. It actually makes better families and better husbands, better wives, that we can be better parents, and that, Lord, by your grace, we can create secure, loving attachments and fill the world with goodness and blessing. That's our prayer, and my prayer for this group. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, thank you so much.